nice knowing the 2025 summer window, but now that it's shut, we can look back at one of the most fascinating and eventful windows in recent memory. Premier League clubs spent over $3 billion, smashing the previous record by nearly $700 million. All of the talks of clubs being limited by PSL certainly didn't come to fruition. So we're going to look back at the 20 Premier League clubs and rank them from worst to best in terms of the success of their window. Starting off with Wolves, their early season struggles have left them at the bottom of the standing, mirroring the place on the list. Matters have been complicated by key departures such as Aït-Nouri, Cunha and Semedo all leaving the club. Frustrated fans turn on the owners, demanding either investment or a sale. Meanwhile, promoted clubs have spent over $100 million, highlighting Wolves' lack of ambition, but the likes of Tolo and Strand Larsen staying at least offered some encouragement. For Fulham, I've gone in 19th. Their campaign's already been marked by frustration on and off the pitch, with VAR errors, etc. Marco Silva's question marks over his future. For much of the summer, the only signing was a backup keeper for less than £1 million. The club, however, did sign Kevin, who could be a good signing, as well as Chimanzi from AC Milan. But just the 3 signings, I kind of expected more from Fulham. Number 18, I've gone for West Ham. They were under serious pressure before that win in the Carabao Cup. Luckily for them, Jared Bowen stayed, and hopefully that will take a bit of pressure off Graham Potter. But the likes of Kudus' departure, as well as others like Cresswell, Fabianski, all leaving out obvious replacements. But I was impressed with the late signings of Fernandez, Magassa and Igor Julia as well. Paqueta staying as well was big too. Before moving on to Crystal Palace, who are also facing a difficult summer, with the uncertainty over whether they'll be in Europe. Obviously, it's unlikely that they would keep Eze, so it proved. Pino's never really going to provide the same quality. Mark Gay staying is positive, but at the same time, you do wonder if it's going to mean they miss out on a big payday with his contract up next year. So, it's mixed feelings on that one, I would say. For 16th, I've gone for Brentford. They've arguably enjoyed a tougher summer than the sides ranked just below them, losing legendary manager Brian Mbomo, Johan Wissa, Norgard as well. However, reinforcements have arrived. Reece Nelson, relatively unproven in the Premier League, but I think is exciting. Jordan Henderson be a decent signing. Dango Otara looks really good, and Kennegar is someone I've always rated as well. So yeah, I think Keith Andrews has got a squad to work with. 15th, I've gone for Aston Villa. Villa had poured significant resources into competing in Europe. However, they've kind of been restricted here. The sale of Jacob Ramsey, who departed for Newcastle, angered supporters. For much of it, the only signing was Gessand, but they did bring in Lindelof and Sancho, Harvey Elliott as well. Emi Martinez stayed, which is a positive, but I'm just not really sure if they've upgraded. Number 14, I've gone for Bournemouth. The strength of Bournemouth's recent transfer business down the years has been highlighted this year by so many of their players going to so many top clubs. But I think Trufa, Dikate could be decent signings, Petrovic as well, and Doak. I think there are some decent players, but committing to Antoine Semenyo is also a massive boost for them. Leeds, I've gone for them in 13th. It's been a pretty decent start for Leeds. Maybe needed some more options up top, and I think they've done that with the likes of the Metcher, Calvert-Lewin as well. Leeds have put quite a lot of money into it. Statch, Longstaff as well, emerging as decent signings. I think Harry Wilson would have been a decent one if they could get it over the line, but unfortunately they couldn't. 12th, I've gone for Brighton. Once again, Chelsea were involved in snapping up another star from the Amex, this time João Pedro. Meanwhile, they kept Carlos Baleba, which is a good sign, which is a good thing for them. And I think few intriguing signings as well. Following Pedro's sale and Ivan Ferguson's loan to Roma, the club does look a bit light in attack though, with Welbeck and Rutter the only options. So I think, it's been okay for them. 11th, I've gone for Burnley. There, Scott Parker's overseen a complete transition of the squad there as they look to end the years of being a yo-yo club. But however, it's been a bit of a slow start, but did get that big win over Sunderland. Brozier and Ugi Chukwu could be decent signings. And of course, Kyle Walker possesses incredibly experience, and I think still could be a bit of a coup for Burnley. Number 10, I've gone for Newcastle. Many will be grateful that this transfer window has been to the end, with the Isak and Wissa saga dominating. But Alanga could be a tidy pickup. Losing, of course, Isak is a big blow. So many targets along the way as well. But I think Jacob Ramsey's a good signing. I think Maltmady's a good signing. I think Wissa's a good signing. But yeah, it did take a bit of a while to get there. But in the end, I don't think it's been too bad for Newcastle. Number 9 is Manchester United. United, of course, entered the summer in crisis, but managed to pull off the signings of Cunha, Mbeumo and Sesko, all of whom chose Old Trafford over other options. Of course, Baleba fell through, but Sene Lemons came in on deadline day, who could be a good signing. Also got some of the deadwood out, including the likes of Rashford, Sancho, Anthony and Garnacho, which which is positive for them too. Number 8, I've gone for the other half of Manchester City. Manchester City. Getting Shirky and Reinders in was very good. Trafford a bit wobbly, but of course bringing Donnarumma is an incredible signing for them, and I can't wait to see him in the Premier League. Of course, it's going to be tough for them to transition away from the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. I still think they're in a rebuilding phase, and maybe for the year or two, I can't expect them to be competing for the Prem. Number 7, I've gone for Nottingham Forest. Not many would have backed Forest to appear this high after Nuno slammed their lack of transfer activity. However, they definitely turned it round. The standout so far has been Dan Ndoye, but Douglas Luiz joining as well, Omari Hutchinson, James McAtee, great signings for the future, and of course with Hull Morgan Gibbs white striker, they were able to keep him too. In 6, I've gone for Everton. It's a slow start for Everton, and David Moyes was lamenting it at one point. However, the key addition without question is Jack Grealish, and he looks back to his best after years in the wilderness at Man City. Tyler Dibbling and Kiernan Hall could be very good in more advanced roles too. So I think Everton have brought in a lot of quality, and I'm looking forward to seeing what David Moyes does with them this season. In 5th place, I've gone for Sunderland. Few could have predicted the Sunderland would have had after their playoff victory, selling Joe Bellerman for such a big fee. The termination of Gui's loan was another setback, but they brought in such quality, the likes of Xhaka, Nordi and Waike, as well, swapped Champions League football, and it may well have put the Black Cats in with a chance to survive, when you'd have to say that would be a hugely successful season for them if they can achieve it. In 4th, I've gone for Chelsea. It's a transfer window at Chelsea, you know it's going to be chaos, but bringing João Pedro, Estevo Williams, good signing, as good young prospects as well, including Delap, Gittins and Hayter. It'd be interesting to see what they do with them. I don't really know if they needed Garnacho, but the likes of Jackson going after Delap's injury, maybe they need a few more further options up there. Sterling, he's there as well, which is a bit of a shame. I thought they'd be able to offload him and he could get regular first team minutes, but it seems like opportunities will be limited for him. In 3rd, I've gone for Tottenham, and yeah, it's been all changed. New manager, the likes of Son going, of course Daniel Levy loaning, and of course in many ways it's been typical Spurs, failing to get Eze and Morgan Gibbs right, but I'd argue that the signing of Xavi Simons is a major coup. Paulinho as well looks really good, Kudus as well, and Kolo Muani as well from PSG, who I'm very much looking forward to play. I think it's been successful for Spurs. 2nd, I've gone for Arsenal. They're doing everything in their power to pull up a position. Upgrades have been made across the pitch, in defence and then in attack with Eze and Gyökeres. Of course, lack of permanent outgoings wasn't great. Maybe they would have liked a bit more money in the squad. However, the squad is primed for big silverware, and this year you kind of feel they have to deliver on it. And number 1, I've gone for Liverpool. I mean, what a summer it's been for Arne Slot. Didn't spend much last year, but this year they blew it wide open. The signing likes of Wirtz, Kirkes, Isak, finally Frimpong, etc, Ekatike. I mean, it's so many incredible players they've signed. Obviously frustrated not to get Gui over the line, but their squad is in a great position now.
Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe for our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.